Hello everyone, my name is Miss Finnegan and I'll be teaching this session today. We are going to be talking about the British artist David Shrigley. Now then, you may not have heard of this artist, but I think you will have probably seen some of his work either on Instagram or on posters in cafes, restaurants. He's become very popular recently and a bit of a viral success story, especially after the pandemic, because his work is quite relatable for people and the effect that the pandemic has had on us all. So, as you can see here, some of his work is very simplistic, to the point. It's a mixture of words and visual drawings, usually on paper. And yeah, he's a British visual artist. He also had some very famous sculptures. He had one up in Trafalgar Square called the Third Plinth. Sorry. So, I'm just going to briefly talk about the 90s in Britain, because it was a very exciting time, especially when you look back on it. You've got Oasis, you've got the Spice Girls, you've got a group of young British artists who really changed the artistic landscape, and did some quite controversial at the time exhibitions that are still very famous, and the work is still worth a lot of money. Artists such as Tracy Emin and Damien Hirst, they made like big statements in different ways. So some of the work was very personal, and that's where modern art it had a lot of different avenues and ways to express yourself. Okay, so it led to a big change in the artistic landscape. Some of David's work is here. You can see it's about sort of empowering people. You are special, kindness, the world has become distorted, which I think we all understand, especially recently. My life is good, another like trying to be positive, but it's almost sarcastic as well. So autobiographical work became quite a big thing, such as Tracy Emin and other artists of that time. It could be kind of humorous, but also deal with some quite dark issues, life and death, right and wrong. We'll talk about that a bit more as well. Some of the work can offend people. Sometimes the point of the work was to offend people. It's about getting a reaction from the viewer, making them think, why is this painting offended me? What's getting to them there? What's created that reaction? And it's also very relatable. Some people look at it and go, yeah, I felt like that too. I felt very sad or happy. So there was a lot of emotive works. David's main point was that he wanted to create something to put out into the world and just share it with people. He just wanted to share what he wanted to say, which I think we all do at times. That's why we have social media, Facebook, Instagram. So David's background, he was always the best at drawing when growing up and one of the best in his class. When he finished university, he felt like he was the worst in the class. He got a 2-2 at university, didn't do very well. He went to Glasgow University and lived there for many years. But he decided when he left that nobody can tell you how to make art. No one can tell you what your vision is. It's personal to you. It's your own vision. He, in fact, abandoned the ways that he'd been taught to draw, and he went back to how he drew before university. And that's what makes the work so unique, is that he stuck to his own style and he believed in it, I suppose. Oh, sorry, just here you can see art will save the world, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's all reassuring, it's along the lines of mental health. Yeah, it's nice, I suppose. So a lot of David's work is along the theme of political rebellion. he said he's pro-religion, he's interested in concerns such as life and death, right and wrong, and his work is about those ideas. It's also against political control and mindless sort of consumerism, constantly buying things and trying to fill the hole. He's done quite a few pieces around champagne and about falling down holes. So yeah, it can all be metaphorical or just literal. Sometimes you feel inspired and sometimes you don't, but he makes the work regardless in order to gain inspiration and puts the hours in. David said in an interview that he works 9 to 5 and he creates the work whether he feels like it or not, which is different for different artists, work in different ways. But yeah, he just keeps going at it and the inspiration will come. So, advice for young artists. Focus on your work. Think about the project rather than the finished artwork. Enjoy doing your work. Don't hurry and go your own way. Be excited about your work. Sometimes art can be difficult or challenging. So if you're not excited about the work, you're not going to enjoy doing it. You're not going to create something very good. You're not going to create something that you want to tell people about, because if you don't love it, then you aren't really going to have anything to say. And that's half of the artwork, is talking to people about it. It's an experience, isn't it? It's asking questions. Okay, so as I said before, mental health is a big theme in David's work, and it's like almost clinically proven. I don't think it is actually clinically proven, but art is good for your mental health. Looking at art, creating art, reading a book is art. It can make you feel better. It's a break from the real world. So we have a basic human need to be happy. Looking at art has a positive impact on your mind. Some of David's work has become a viral success, as I've discussed before. You see it on Instagram all the time. It gets shared by some quite famous people, to be honest, because it's relatable. We all relate to it, and we've all had hard times and sad times during the past 2 years, definitely. So I'll just have a quick little discussion about some of this work. I think some of it is quite relevant for teenagers especially. I have not flowered yet, but I will do eventually. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of social media, constant exposure to unattainable images for teenagers. There's Photoshop, there's filters. So I think messages like this are really important. You are special. Don't come too close to me. I think we all relate to that after the pandemic. If we get on public transport or go in a shop and someone coughs near us, we're all quite terrified. I must rest, my rampage is over. Again, I think that's a good one for teenagers. You can't expect them to behave all the time, but I think we need to give them a bit of compassion, a bit of understanding. So for this week's assignment, I want you all to think about something that's had a big effect on you. It can be good or bad. It could be a family member who has helped you a lot. It could be a hobby that you have that you really enjoy, and we're going to work on making a drawing about that. You can use words in it, you can use colour, it can be black and white, whatever. And I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health, and if it's something bad, we're going to talk about it. We're going to help each other. We're going to have little class discussions next week. So you can have a written statement in the artwork if you wish, and it's about developing your personal style. I'm not trying to make you do anything in any particular way. Just do whatever you want, really. And we'll talk about it next week. Okay, thank you, bye.